Gillingham from the Agence France-Presse news agency. Mr. Soderbergh, I wonder if I could squeeze in two questions, if I may. The timing of this movie is very appropriate when you consider that this is in many ways a landmark year for gay rights. We've had a whole string of countries, most recently France, and also several US states, which have legalized gay marriage. To what extent does this film address the question of the position of gays in society, notably the business of having to cover one's homosexuality? And the second question is very short, is very brief. Is this your swan song? Is this your last appearance at Cannes as a director?
Well, let's start with the first question. It certainly seems like, by sort of coincidentally, we're connected at this moment to a sort of cultural, sequence of events that seems very timely and relevant. Whenever I think about these sorts of things, sort of social issues like this, I always try to think, okay, 50 years from now, what are we going to think of, our attitudes right now? 50 years ago, we didn't even have the Civil Rights Act in the United States. Now, of course, it's part of our DNA. So when this issue comes up of equal rights for gays, I always think I'm hoping 50 years from now we're going to look back on this and wonder why this was even a debate and what took so long. But it's certainly encouraging to see what's happening in France. We now have 13 states, I think, in the U.S.
Michigan.
14?
No, 13.
Okay, so we're getting there. I think it's all moving in the right direction. But to be honest, that was not on my mind when we were making this film, or when I was thinking about it, for the 13 years that we were contemplating this. And in making the film, the sort of socio-political aspect of it wasn't really in my mind. I was focused on this relationship and trying to make this relationship as believable and realistic as we could. We wanted to make something, as Matt said, that was intimate, and in which you really believed that there was a connection between these two characters. And as far as this being my swan song, I don't know, this is 24 years ago. Henri was right here, and we were here with Sex Lies.
My hair was still darker.
Yeah, well, and I had hair at that point. But I'm absolutely taking a break. I don't know how extended it's going to be. But, I can't say that if this were the last movie I made that I would be unhappy. I'm really, really proud of this film. I feel like there's a connection, on the one hand, to my first film, because at the end of the day, it's really about two people in a room, and that was what my first film was about. And at the same time, stylistically, it's a progression, and it represents, I look at it, if you'd flashed me forward and showed me this film, I would have been able to recognize that there was a lot of experience, that resulted in a kind of simplicity and a directness in the filmmaking that I think would have made me very happy. So, it's been a nice run.
Question over there.